What's going on? Welcome to K.A.E Sports Talk. And this is going to be the KBL 2022-23 regular season end of the year report on all the Asian imports. So, before we do get started, if all of you can give me that HKO special, help the king out, hit the like. If you're new, subscribe and comment. What do you think after I finish this video? Excuse me. So let's get into it. So the first player I want to talk about is Kelvin Epistola. So there's me and Kelvin right there. Here's the thing: he played 13 games this season, averaged about 11 minutes, 2.7 points, 1.2 assists, 1.5 rebounds, zero point 0.3 steals. Now the issue is Jeongju KCC Aegis is in the playoffs, and then I just finished a live stream where they just got beat up by Seoul SK in game one. But unfortunately, Kevin Epistola has not been on the roster, and I have a feeling because game two, I'm going to be at Seoul SK to watch the Jeongju match, and I don't think Calvin's going to be there for game two because if that's true, he would have been on the team bus, and they're going to stay in Seoul. They're not going to drive back to Jeongju tonight. So they're going to stay in Seoul for the next couple of days. So I already know how this thing goes. So unfortunately, I don't think we'll see Kelvin unless they come back for game three. But I did talk to him on the Instagram Messenger, like what's going on. So he's still around. So he tells me he's still around. So that's still the good news so far with Calvin Epistola. But yeah, it was a pleasure meeting you and seeing you. And then of course, if Jeongju does not advance, season will be over, and hopefully I can meet up with you about those jerseys we talked about. So other than that, shout out to Kevin Epistola. All right, next I'm going to talk about SJ Belangel. So there's me and SJ in Daegu right there. So SJ, he played a lot of games. Out of 54, he played 52. Two of them, he actually was on the roster, but the coach did not play him at all. So he averaged close to 19 minutes, 7 points, 2 assists, almost 2 rebounds, and almost a whole steal a game. So he does play defense pretty well. So that's the thing. And of course, SJ, I know you are back in the Philippines, and I heard you're coming back in June. So in June, I was just wondering, I hate to bother you and ask you for this, because if Daegu would have done their job and sold your jersey, I wouldn't have to ask this of you. And if you don't, could meet my request, I was wondering if I can get your home and road jerseys and get them signed, and I can get them donated. So I already have 5 of 7, and then I'm even meeting with Kelvin Epistola. So I want to get these donated and displayed to continue this legacy and tell the story of the first season. So that's one thing. Yep, my mission is. So other than that, yep, shout out SJ. It was always a pleasure meeting you when I came to Daegu. All right, next. Oh, this dude, man. This guy. Who is this guy? Man. I always go, Dave, Bucky, why do you keep following me around? So Dave, as you notice, he only played 21 games, and the reason is he was in the phase of the UAP season in December after winning a college championship at Ateneo de Manila. So he averaged about 16 and a half or close to 17, averaging 5.1 points, 1.4 assists, 2.3 rebounds, and 0.6 steals. So he did get some glimpse of starting a lot of games, but unfortunately they kind of sat him the last two. So I don't know what's the deal. So I don't want to get into some of the things that happened with one of the games because I was so pissed off because I was there to watch the disaster in overtime. But other than that, hey, Dave, it was always a pleasure of, running into you, talking to you, and, meeting your family. So, yep, thank you, Dave, for a memorable season. So hope to see you again. So either I'll see you again next season, or maybe I'll run into you in the Philippines. We'll see. So shout out to Dave, and yep, thank you for the memories, Dave. All right. So next, I want to talk about Justin Gutang. Yes, good old Justin. There you go. So, no cap. So met up with Justin. So now I've kind of met up with him about 3 or 4 times. So let's see. He played in 44 games. He averaged about 13 and a half minutes, 4.5 points, 2.5 assists, 2.3 rebounds, point steal, 7 steals, and 0.1 blocks. Some of the things are kind of weird because right now they're the second seed in the postseason right now. So I don't know what's the deal sometimes. Some games he's like sitting and they don't utilize. He has a lot of talents where he comes off the bench and he puts in some minutes. Now, he doesn't score a lot of points, but he comes in and does the other intangibles like, getting assists, getting rebounds, actually, getting some steals. I mean, you see 0.7 steals. He had a lot of dunks based on those steals. So his defensive prowess is pretty awesome there. And I even talked to him and said, look, man, next year, you versus RHON Abando in the dunk contest. So as long as you're coming back, that would be freaking awesome to watch next season. That would bring a lot of excitement to the All-Star game next year. So, yeah, because he could throw it down. And if you guys follow me, you see him in the shorts. There's a lot of dunks that Gutang makes in the pregame. So shout out to you, Justin. It was a pleasure. Thanks for the memories, talking to you. And I hope to see more of you. So we'll see how it goes down. And good luck in the postseason as the 2 seed. So hope you guys do well. All right, so there's Justin Gutang. All right, next I want to talk about good old Rez Abando. Yes, I think Rez is so sick of me. Rez is like, this guy again? He's everywhere where I am. So 39 games, and don't let the stats fool you. 9 points, 1 assist, 2.5 rebounds, 0.4 steals, 0.9 blocks. It's funny because he have a couple games. He had a career high 30-point games and a lot of career high 20. Of course, sometimes Anyang's so good that they blow everyone out, so they don't use Rez as often as they need to, but they do market him really well. And I want to tell you, shout out to Anyang. Man, you guys are probably my favorite franchise for the fan experience. You sell Rez's jersey, you don't I met a lot of the Barkada at Anyang. We have a lot of Filipinos at Anyang, and of course, if you guys didn't know the stat, about almost 55 to 60,000 Filipinos OFWs live here in South Korea. So you did not disrespect the fan base. I think that was so freaking awesome for Anyang. And look, I have 2 of his jerseys. They're the best quality jerseys, man, in the KBL. So, keep up the good work. I love how accessible you make the players to the fans, not just for Rez, excuse me, but for even the local Korean players, man. So shout out. And I think it's a good model that almost all the 9 teams should follow as of today. So that's my feeling about that right now. All right, now we're going to talk about Ethan Alvano. And here you go. There's me and Ethan. So ran into him a couple of times. So I saw him a few games. And he's probably one of the most consistent players. 53 games. I mean, the one game, the coach decided not to play him. But he could have played in all 54 games. He's stayed injury-free, played 30 minutes, averaging 13 points, 5.1 assists, 3.5 rebounds, 1.4 steals, 0.1 blocks. He does a lot. He pretty much did his best to carry that team. So, unfortunately, they finished 7th, didn't make postseason. But according to Ethan on his Instagram, he's going to be back next year. And, of course, he did sign my jersey, so I'm getting ready to donate that. So I thank Ethan for the memories and for doing that for me. So, yeah, shout out to Ethan Alvano. Okay, Cali represents, SoCal represents. So thank you, Ethan, for your time here in Korea. And hope you get to have another awesome season, and hope you're back. So I know you're supposed to be back. So that's a good sign. So there we go. All right. Now we're going to finish this with, let's finish this off with RHON Abarientos. OMG, right? So there's RHON, myself. This time we're not freezing our asses outside. I mean, he's been averaging 29 minutes, 13.6, 4.8 assists, 2.9 rebounds, 1.4 steals, 0.2 blocks. And look at that. He became Rookie of the Year, KBL Rookie of the Year. Of course, next year, they're thinking about having a separate award for the Asian imports versus the locals, which I'm not going to get into that right now. But one of these days, I'm going to save that for another video. But shout out to RHON Abarientos. And, yo, it's cool meeting you. And, of course, your teammate Gage Prim, where two of my subscribers came here. So I got to hang out with Gage. Shout out to you, Gage Prim, living the Prim life. And then, you know, there's our assistant coach, Coach Vernon Macklin. I didn't know you played for Ginebra. You played for Ginebra in 2014. And then their interpreter, Han. I know you get no credit, no love, Han, but I'm giving you some credit and some love here for what you do for the guys, you know. So I heard that you were an interpreter in the military. So you know, you have a skill set, and, you know, I'm glad, you know, that you do that for those guys. I know it's a thankless job, but just letting you know, I'm thankful that you do that for the guys and you're there. And I know you make a lot of sacrifice. And I know during the RHON thing, you have to be all over. You had to do more work than you ever had to before, I bet. So shout out to, Han out there, their interpreter. So if no one recognizes, I recognize you. Okay. And here's the thing. The player of the year, man. Okay. It's between two guys, Ethan Alvano and RHON. I think they both deserve player of the year. It's so hard. I mean, it's real difficult because, you know, I mean, Ethan had some good glimpse, had a buzzer beater, you know, against Daegu, you know, and then RHON, you know, he's been going up like crazy. So you know, not to discredit Ethan, but this time I'm just gonna go with RHON Abarientos. So you are the player of the year for the Asian imports in my books, according to K.A.E. Sports. So if I had an award, I would have a trophy and award for you. The K.A.E. Sports Award goes to RHON Abarientos, and I know Uncle Johnny would be very proud. So thank you, RHON. And the memory is not over because you guys are in the 4th seed right now. You guys are up 1-0. So tomorrow night I'll be streaming game 2. So you, Gage, and the guys, I want to see you guys advance to go up against Anyang if you guys can get this series done in 3 or 4. But the Goyoung Carricks are no easy walkthrough. I give them a little credit because they got a lot of good sharpshooters there. So I'm wishing you guys the best of luck here, and hopefully I can catch a game before this season completely comes to an end. So definitely. So shout out to RHON Abarientos. There's okay. I'll put the overlay. Yep. So remember, we're freezing our asses off outside. So there you go. RHON. So you are my player of the year so far. And then I'll have a separate report for postseason. So we'll have to go from there. All right, everyone. So before I leave this video, please, if you can give me the HKO special, help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe if you're new, and comment. What do you think? Should Ethan been the player of the year? RHON, was I right? I don't know. Tell me if you agree with me or disagree. So other than that, everyone, I want you to stay safe and have a good evening, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.